Hey y'all, it's Courtney, and I am back with another video, and I wanted to wait until I was feeling better and my voice was back to do this video, but fuck that. I'm gonna do it now because it's been on my mind since yesterday. Well, it's been on my mind for quite a few days, and it just keeps, like, eating at me the more and more and more I see and think about and blah blah blah. I said last night that, I had some stuff I wanted to talk about, but I really didn't want to make it and put it in a video where my daughter's sitting right here, because it's adult concepts, and things that kids just don't need to hear about. So I just want to get it out there, and say it. So I'm probably a little bit out of breath. I probably sound a little gross, a little nasally, a little but we're gonna work through that. We'll do our best here. So, and I also wanted to do, I was trying to wait until I was feeling better, but I just can't. I'm gonna do a look with this palette. It's ColourPop. It's My Pleasure. And here, oh my god, I am in love. Now you can actually see the colors now that I'm in the light. This is my new favorite palette. And sometime this week, I am going to do a video. I tried to do that with this video, but I accidentally stopped it myself. It didn't cut off on me. I cut myself off, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make that for another video. I'm just going to do my makeup, while I talk in this one. And then in a video that I do this week, I'll actually show you guys all the products that I use, because I actually want to show the people, because 90% of what I use comes from somebody that sent it to me. And I want to show everybody that has sent me something, that the things that are sent to me, I absolutely appreciate and I absolutely use. I'm more likely to use something that somebody else sends to me that I don't even know I'm going to receive than something I buy on my own that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use. Just because I appreciate it so much that it makes me like the product even more, because it was from my friend Sarah or my friend Kimmy or my friend Samantha, because then whenever I see that thing, it makes me think of that person. It makes me want to use it even more. So yeah. So just about 90% of what I use, I'm using right now, all except for my setting spray and my little sponge and my concealer and my eyeliner. Those are the only things that I already had. The rest of it are things that were sent to me, and I even had a really nice eyeliner from Kimmy D. It was a Clinique one, but it seems to have just up and walked away. It was in with my brushes. It was literally in with this little tin right here, and it just walked away. I think it might have walked back to my daughter's bedroom, but who knows. I'll probably find it when I'm in there cleaning one day. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get on the subject, and because I want to get my thoughts out here. I gotta say this shit. So, first off, I want to finish what I was talking about in my video the other day when it got cut off. I know I need to be a little more specific, because every video of mine gets cut off. But specifically, when I was saying the other day that, we're a community where when things are taken into real life, it's an outrage. People are mad, people are cussing each other, people are fighting with each other about it, and arguing, doing live stream after live stream, trying to get the point, drove home about how awful it is, and it is awful. It's always awful. But that's the point. It's always awful. I see sometimes, outrage for one person, because that person is very well liked. And then other times, because the person isn't liked as much, nobody cares that they were doxxed or that they were their family has been being harassed, or the cops were called on them, or CPS was called on them, or whatever the case may be. Their job was called, whatever. But it's just as bad if it's somebody that you don't like. And to celebrate when somebody is down and out, I feel makes you maybe not just as bad as that person, because I don't know how bad, it's kind of like a case basis. Some people are really bad. But it's almost like being just as bad as that person. And I was guilty of this, and that's why I'm speaking about this, because I was guilty of this at one point too, not too long ago. I was almost like celebrating somebody. I mean, nothing was called on them. They got themselves in trouble. But I still was kind of like, karma, And I shouldn't have felt that way. It was wrong, and I probably shouldn't have thought about it that way. Because it makes me just as bitchy, you know what I mean? To be like, even if the person did deserve it. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to act that way. I don't want to put myself down on that person's level to want bad things to happen to other people. So I'm going to try to be, if I'm going to be outraged about something, I'm going to try to be outraged anytime it happens, not just when it happens to somebody that I like. Now, there are instances where, there's not as much outrage because the person's a known liar, or things don't add up, or, like, there's reasons sometimes why people aren't believed or whatever. And a lot of those times, it's caused by that person themselves. Like, they can't be mad if nobody believes them because they've lied time after time after time after time, Sometimes instances are caused by your own fuck-ups, I sure know that I wouldn't want to be a person in this community where if I told you guys my house burnt down, you'd have to question if it actually happened and have to look up my town's newspaper for the day to actually see if my house burnt down. I would hate it if nobody believed me to the point of somebody having to look shit up to make sure I'm not lying. You know what I mean? I don't want to be known like that in this community. But some people are, unfortunately. Some people are just known liars, so nobody believes anything they say. And that's not our fault, that's not something that we created, unfortunately for them. That's just how it works. When you lie, people don't believe you. So anyways, still though, I'm going to try to work harder on, if something's wrong for one person, it's wrong if it happens to anybody. And not thinking it's okay when it happens to somebody that I don't like. There's a lot of times too where it's somebody that I don't like and I have been like, it's still wrong, But some people almost, see it as a little victory. And nobody in my people is like that, or I wouldn't keep you around, or I wouldn't want to be around you if you were that nasty of a person that you would celebrate somebody else's failures or somebody else's hurt and pain. That's not somebody I would want to keep around. But anyways, and then that brings me to the next subject. And this next subject is like 20 subjects all rolled up in one ball and like smushed together and like thrown up against the wall, like shit sticking to the wall. Whatever that means. So, this is about my opinion on the whole rape for hire thing. First off, ew. ew, and ew. A lot of you guys know a lot of my story, and I'm not going to make this about myself because it's not about me. But I think that I can speak for not only myself, but a lot of survivors of sexual abuse when I say that to listen to somebody say, oh, it's a joke, it was just a joke. Talking about it was just a joke, saying that you're going to get somebody violently raped is a little triggering. I hate the word triggering, but it is. It triggers you into that, like, I don't know, just like, I don't know how to explain it. Just this feeling of like dread and like just your stomach just starts turning and like it's just this like, oh, it's like a wet blanket being thrown down over you slowly, and it just feels like all the blood just drains from you, and it's like a cold, I don't know, does anybody else know what I'm talking about? Like, you just feel like all the warmth and all the blood and everything, it just drains out of you, and it makes you sick to your stomach like you haven't eaten in days, but you're gonna throw up at the same time, and you just get goosebumps, and it just makes you feel like a really crazy way that no other thing can make it. Well, other things can make you feel that way, but only like really bad things that trigger you. But sexual abuse, and like child abuse and that kind of stuff, child sexual abuse, those are the things that trigger me the most. And it's because I went through both of those things. So I know how much it is not a joke. Those types of things are not a joke. It ruins lives. Rape ruins lives. You might think that it only takes something from you sexually, but it doesn't. It takes something from you up here. It takes your sense of pride. It takes your sense of security, your sense of safety, your sense of being able to hold your own, your sense of sexuality. Because I don't know if it's like this for a lot of other people, but since it happened to me at such a young age, I've never had a want to have a sexual relationship. I've finally gotten a little bit better with it with my husband because I fully trust him. He's the only man that I've fully trusted. So it's gotten a little bit better, but I still struggle in that area, I'm not going to lie. And I've been going to therapy for, and I still just maybe 6 months finally told even my therapist about this. Not even my therapist knew, because I just never brought it up, because that's how embarrassing and how much I tried to bury it in the back of my head, because that's how much it fucked me up, that my mind tried to make me forget about it so it wouldn't hurt me. So for people to joke about that and say, oh, it's just a joke, I wasn't going to do that, fuck you. Fuck anybody that was in that conversation. And fuck anybody that's going to pat that bitch's ass and say, oh, it's okay. I get what you mean. I understand. I get that, we all say horrible things. I've said some nasty things that I regret. I've said some things that I shouldn't have. I've said, like I said earlier, I've said, that's karma and stuff like that, and that was wrong of me. But I would never say that somebody deserved to be raped, or somebody, let's set this person up to be raped. Let's set this person up to be brutally sexually raped. Violently. But it was just a joke, right? But you were talking about needing a VPN. out of country so that it was untraceable. But it was just a joke, right? Just a joke. And either you must really think Katie is stupid, or Katie really is stupid if she didn't look into it, because everybody was telling her that there were bits and pieces being left out of the story. I don't even know the full story, and I could tell her, or I could have told her that there was things being left out for convenience, to make her not look so guilty. She said that, oh, I wasn't the one holding the conversation and this and that, but she was sure participating. So it's just as bad. She was co-signing. If she didn't say anything in that whole conversation, then I probably wouldn't be fuck you about it. But she participated in that conversation. And for her to try to say that she, none of it was her, fuck that and fuck you. Because you're lying. You sat there and lied straight to that woman's face, and now she's getting shit on because of your lies. Because she chose to believe them. So that's not anybody else's fault that she chose to believe it. And she didn't listen to everybody telling her. That's not what happened. That's not how it happened. Things are being left out. But it's Kit Kat's fault, right? That everybody's being run off. It's Kit Kat's fault that people are mad. It's everybody else's fault, right? Kit Kat doesn't need to run people off. You do a good enough job of acting an ass and acting a fool and doing disgusting shit all on your own and running people off. People run off because of this shit like the other night of you co-signing that disgusting conversation and that disgusting person and patting her on the ass. And another thing is the length that you are going to, MFW of course, is going to be petty against Diana Wendy is gonna send her toppling from her throne, man. I'm telling you. Look at the company she's keeping in the name of pettiness. That Mandy chick, this Laura chick. Look at the people that have been on her panels recently. She might say that she doesn't trust that Mandy chick, but she had her up there. So it doesn't matter if you trust her or not. You must trust her enough to have her up on a panel and let her speak. So you're surrounding yourself with her. I just find it hilarious how you trying to blame everybody else for making you look like an asshole, or making you look stupid in front of your people. Nobody else needs to make you look stupid. You do a good job all on your own of making you look like a jackass. By sitting there and patting somebody's ass and co-signing them, joking about rape. And it doesn't matter that it didn't happen. It was pretty clear that that wasn't just a joke. And for the people saying, oh, well, the person that leaked the private conversation is just as bad. You know what? If somebody was saying that they were going to get me, have me raped, I would hope to God that somebody would leak that conversation. I've never leaked a conversation, and I never would, unless, like I said, somebody was hurting themselves, or not hurting themselves, I wouldn't even then, but if it was life or death, if there was a really dire reason to save somebody. I don't know yet. I'll look here in just a minute as soon as I'm done here. Let me touch all your foods with my nasty, sickly fingers. My husband's the only one that hasn't been sick yet, so he'll be next. This was sent to me by Simply Samantha, and it's called Sugar. I don't know if it doesn't have a shade name, but it's really pretty. It's my first time using it, so I don't know how. Oh, she pretty. It's not like a really, really icy highlight, but I'm also very, very pale, so unless it's like almost white, it doesn't. Well, it looks pretty good on camera. Um, I don't know what I was just saying, but I do want to say this. I think everybody's pretty well aware that I do like Captain. I like Kit Kat, and I don't really know Zigzag as well, but I like her. You know, I like her. I don't dislike her. I just don't know her as well. But Kit Kat and Captain and Sierra, I like all them. I have no issue with them, and I know that some of my friends don't like them, but that's okay. I can be friends with. It's like how I was in high school. I was friends with a little bit of the Richie kids. I was friends with some of the poor kids. I was friends with some of the band kids. I was friends with some of the geeks. I was friends with some of the, well, most of the emo kids, because that's what I was, or punk emo, whatever you want to call it, alternative kid. Um, I was friends with the preps. I was friends with the jocks. I was friends with I was friends with everybody, and that's how I am here too. I'm friends with a little bit of everybody, and I don't think that that's a problem. I would hope not, as long as I'm not in one person's chat talking shit about somebody else that I go into their chat later on. You know what I mean? I don't do that. Uh, if they're talking about somebody that I like, I don't comment on the situation uh, because I like that person, and I'm not going to talk shit on somebody that I like just because somebody else is doing it. I think I made that point clear whenever people were talking shit on Uni, and even though she and I weren't getting along at that time, I said, I'm not going to contribute to this conversation, but I understand why you guys are upset with her. And I didn't. I didn't sit there and drag her, even though I wasn't necessarily friends with her at the time. It was before she, like, really threw me under the bus, but I still didn't like what she was doing at the time. So I hadn't been going in her chat, but I still wasn't going to say nothing bad. I'm the type person, instead of dragging, and, like, when we don't even have to fall out. I don't like to fall out with anybody. If I don't like what you're doing and I don't like what I'm seeing, I don't have to scream on my way out. I don't like you anymore. I'm showing all of our messages. I want to expose you, this and that. I don't want problems with anybody. So I just quietly as I can back away slowly as to not cause a problem. Because I don't, like I said, I don't want problems with anybody. Just because I don't want to be best friends with them doesn't mean I want a problem with them either. Or just because I don't agree with what they're doing doesn't mean I want issues with them, you know. So anyways, as I said, I think everybody knows that, I like Captain and I like Kit Kat and them. And I just want to say that Katie is stupid as fuck for treating them the way she did. That live stream that she did was gross. It was gross. Kit Kat and Ziggy and Captain have had her back through a lot of shit, man. A lot. A lot of garbage things that she's done. And they disagree with her once, and she throws their asses under the bus and has a whole live stream about it. And then goes and says, I didn't want them, running around chat to chat, telling everybody that they're not my mod anymore and telling their side of the story. So I decided to get on here and tell you all my side, and that's the end of the story. So basically saying, this is my side of it. Don't listen to anything they say. I don't want them to have their say. This is what I'm saying, and that's the truth, and that's that. Don't question it. And she's always been like that. Like, it's what I say or nothing. And that's just so gross to me. Like, I don't understand how anybody can just be like, okay, all right, that's, good enough for me. What? Like, question things, people. Like, don't just let somebody spoon feed you. Like, if you feel a way about something, don't let your wanting to be cool and be in the cool kids club change your morals. That's selling yourself short to change your morals because you want to be liked. You want to be in the cool kids club. Look, I don't agree with her, but people still like me. Generally, still like me because I'm just not an asshole. You know, I don't go around being mean to people, and I don't go around, doing mean things to people. So you don't have to like somebody that you don't agree with, or, whatever, just to be friends with everybody.